One of the biggest things that we face in society today, it's the way we think, the way our brain processes the information. So there are laws, just like any other type of law, that we have to follow in order for us to get the results that we want. So with that in mind, the mental laws is what I'm going to be touching today in this video. So stay tuned because there's going to be some key topics, some key information based on some books that I have read, and then some valuable research that I have done as well from some great coaches that I have personally read about, that I have known, and that I know you may find the value as well. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back, everyone. Hey, if you find any value in this channel, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you think that anybody may benefit from this channel as well, please feel free to share the channel to anyone that you may know, because the purpose of this channel is for us to give you some value based on what we have learned, some of the books that we have read, self-development courses, and valuable information that I believe you may benefit from it as well. My purpose is just to share it back to you and that you may find the value as well. With that being said, my name is Marcelino. I am the creator of this channel with my team, and together we run this channel. So the purpose of it, once again, is to give you value on anything and everything that can benefit you or can affect you in a negative way in your own personal lives. This goes for anyone around the world, by the way. With that being said, today's message, today's video is mental loss. Mental loss, because has it ever happened to you that you're getting a result in life, you're thinking about doing something, you're thinking about getting something done, and yet you don't get the result that you want, or you don't get the result that you actually were hoping for? Why? Because of the way we think, the way we process. We are like a magnet. We are not like a magnet. We're literally a magnet, right? So when we process information, when we think of something, we actually send a signal out. Okay, we send a signal out to whoever the universe is, whatever you believe, right? God, universe, a figure, whatever that might look like in your own personal life. For me, I'm a Christian. I personally believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. But this video is not about, my personal religious beliefs. It's about when I'm thinking of something, when I'm processing information, I put it out to God and I say, hey, this is what I'm looking out to do. So with that, you send those signals, you send that information to the universe, to whoever it is that you're sending it to. So those are the mental laws that we all experience when we live our lives. Okay, so the law of belief. The law of belief, they have an impact on the things that we do every single day. As I was saying to you, if I say, I'm gonna be the president of the United States, if I truly believe that that's what I'm out to do, guess what? I'm going to find out, I'm going to come across individuals, I'm going to come across people that are going to direct me, that are going to point me, not necessarily, hey, go talk to that person because he's going to get you to be the president of the United States or whatever country. But in a way that if I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to be the next president of the United States, I'm going to be the CEO of my company that I'm funding. What you'll do eventually with that is you're sending out the signal. It's the signal of belief. And therefore you attract that. You attract that into your own personal life. You attract that to yourself. But also with that, we have law of expectations. I'm a parent myself, and most of the times I should say, I tell my kids what they need to do, right? So they expect me to tell them what they need to do, because if I don't tell them, guess what? They're most likely not going to do it. They're not going to do it unless they find the pleasure in doing so, because kids do what feels good. Adults, we ought to do what is right, but it's usually the other way around. So if I'm telling my kid, hey, this is what I need you to do, this is what I want you to do, they are expecting me to be that way, to behave that way, which is very important if you're a parent, that you understand how the brain processes information, how we ought to respond to a certain situations. Because even sometimes, we tell our kids to do something and we don't even do it ourselves. Or we tell them to, like, hey, you can be anything in the world that you want, which is, by the way, that's a lie. I cannot be LeBron James. I'm 5'4", 5'5". I can never be LeBron James. Okay, LeBron James is 6'6", 280 pounds. I don't know how high does he jump, but I can never be LeBron James. Okay, so when you hear that word of saying you can be anything in the world that you want, that's a lie. That is a lie. You can do, you can believe, and then therefore you can achieve what you want out of life, obviously with your certain expectations that you have for yourself. Yes, you can do that, but I cannot be a Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt again is 6'4", the fastest man in the world. I don't think I could ever have that leap of that he has because of my legs. My legs are not just as big as he is. So with that, the expectations that we have for our kids, that we have for ourselves, is very important. So understanding that is very crucial. Another thing too that we can also need to think about when it comes to the mental laws that we have is the words that we use. Most times we're raised to say, well, I can't do that. I can't. I'll try to do that. I don't know how to do that. So those words have a very, very huge impact on the way that you process your information, because again, you say that you can't, so therefore guess what you're going to attract? You're going to attract the I can't approach. Every time that you say I can't, it's going to be an I can't. So therefore your brain is not going to see for that possibility, for those opportunities. I don't know if it ever happens to you when you're driving down the freeway and then all of a sudden you're driving, you see all kinds of cars, but next thing you know, you own a Honda Civic, a blue Honda Civic, and all of a sudden you're driving down the freeway and then you see blue Honda Civics everywhere. So that is because you are activating this part of the brain, the subconscious mind, into existence. So therefore your brain is able to pick it up. So when you say I can't, then the brain is going to operate. It's not going to expand. It's not going to be able to open up to the things that you can do. Now, one of the things that I've learned myself is that rather than saying I can't or I don't know how, I was able to understand at some point, because believe me, I'm guilty of that. I was one of the ones that would always say, hey, I can't, or that's not me. I would never do that. One of the things that I learned with that is that I can use the words, let me find out. I will figure it out, right? Even if I don't know how to do it, because a lot of the times when we want to start a project, when we want to start a business, we get caught up in the how am I going to do it? Forgetting about the fact that there's a vision, there's a bigger purpose of why in the first place we want to do it. So putting the why first in front of you will actually start letting the brain operate in a different level, and you start getting rid of the how, you start focusing on the why, and then the how will eventually start coming into existence. One of the coaches actually who is really, really good at this is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, as you already know, he's been around in the industry, in the self-development industry, which is, by the way, one of the industries that is going to be taking off in the next couple of years. It has already. It has. We have this platform of YouTube, you have social media, you have Instagram. I mean, you have all kinds of platforms where individuals are getting on and they're doing their podcasts. They're doing videos like this. They are doing coaching programs. So it's an industry that will be taking off massively. But Tony Robbins is the OG. He's the original coach that really, really started to reframe and started to shaping how the coaching programs work. But anyways, my point of that is he's one of the individuals that says, hey, don't worry about the how. The how will always come later. Worry about the why. Why is it that you want to do something? Again, he's one of the ones that studies the brain, the neurologistic language, I believe, NLP. So using those words will actually allow the brain again to start operating the brain, right? Because this is the conscious part of the brain and this is the subconscious part of the brain. When you allow the brain to start operating from a level of, what's possible, then that's when it becomes the possibility of it just start expanding. So once again, when you, this is the conscious part and this is the unconscious, right? Part of the brain, whatever the conscious part of the brain starts to believe, the unconscious part will actually start bringing it to physical reality. As I was saying, first it has to go through the filtering process. It has to go through the conscious part. I know that I'm doing this video right now. Okay, my subconscious part is gonna start bringing it into reality, into what I'm out to do, what's my next step, what I need to do next. Why? Because my front part of the brain is processing that information. So I know that I'm recording the video. My subconscious mind, it starts to bringing it into life. Whatever your mind believes it can conceive, that is actually your part, your conscious part. It starts to process in it, let it send in those signals to your unconscious part, and then bringing it into existence. Again, I go back to the example that I was saying earlier. Whenever we say, hey, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna, build a business, I'm gonna have $1 million, I'm going to be, one of the most giving persons, one of the most caring persons in the world. Again, your subconscious mind starts to process that in a way that it starts bringing it to existence. So it's a phenomenal way. I personally believe that we need to get taught this in schools. It's super important for me personally if they teach us this in school, not in college. I'm talking about, middle school and elementary school, high school. That needs to be part of what we go to school for and study, because it is such a crucial part of our lives that will affect in a negative way or in a positive way for us to do what we need to do later on as adults, as we start to grow, as we start to build a family. I believe that if we can understand better how the brain actually processes information, how it works, it will be so much better for that individual student who is sitting down in front of the teacher, consuming and absorbing that information, so much information going into their heads, and it's almost like, what do I do with this? And how do I even filter that? How do I process that? Well, if we can study, we can understand that the conscious part will actually start filtering it to the subconscious mind. Then that's when we can actually start processing information better, behave better, and act better as well. Another very important factor too as well that I have actually learned while I was reading this book. By the way, the name of this book, it's called The Secret. And actually there is a documentary on Netflix that you can watch. I believe it's about an hour and 20 minutes. You have Bob Proctor there and other individuals, Zig Ziglar, another huge individual when it comes to coaching, one of the great individuals who actually has a book that is called the Art of Selling, I believe it's called. It's a book. I'll get the name and I'll put the link down below. But he actually had a book, but it's all based on psychology, because again, it goes back to the 80-20 rule, right? 80% is psychology, 20% is mechanics. It all comes down to the brain, the way we believe and the way we process information. Then it comes to how. It comes here, 80% here, 20% here, 80% I believe. The 20, this will process the how am I going to do it. Interesting fact as I'm sharing this with you. But one of the things that I learned during this book is praising people. When you run a team, when you have a team of individuals, it just comes down to, okay, how do I retain my team and how can I make them better? Because when, let's say that you're a business owner, but you are a business owner and you have to be present for the business to run, you are a business operator, not a business owner. A business owner, it's whether you're there or not, the business runs on its own. But if you're there, you're a business operator. So how do you multiply that? How do you duplicate that? Again, it goes back to the 80-20. It's all mindset. And so one of the great things that we learned here is that you start praising people. You start praising them, and some of the things, as little as they might be or as big as they can get, you start praising them and how good of a job they're doing. That was a great conversation they had with this individual. Whatever that might look like, because that gives the individual the encouragement to want to do more of that. Because if there's no praising, if there's no encouragement, right, the individual starts getting discouraged. Then they start not believing in themselves. So they start saying, hey, I don't feel appreciated here. What's happening? What's going on? So it really is really important that when you run a team, if you want to multiply, which another book that I read as well, multipliers. If you want to be a multiplier, it just really comes down to just praising your team, giving them, hey, that was a good job. That was a great talk that you had with this individual. By the way, hey, where can I take you out to lunch? Let's go ahead and go for some coffee. Whatever that's gonna look like for you. It's always great for the team. Another great thing to be really present to, and to really start being more conscious, because the more conscious that you become, the more unconscious that you actually have to be in order for you to start doing it. Did you get that? So how many times has it ever happened to you where you're learning how to ride a bike? I mean, it happens to all of us, actually, right? It happens to me. When we get on a bike, we actually get on it, I have to think about it, right? I have to put my feet over it, and then I know that I have to put my other foot in here so that I can lift up my leg and then start taking forward. But I know I have to go left, I have to go right, I have to go left, I have to go right in order to keep my balance. So I know that if I have to turn, right, it's almost like I have to keep a balance in there. So it's really conscious and skill, right? I'm very conscious, but I'm very, very unskilled. There's a point in life where you become conscious and skilled. Now I know that I need to do that. But there is another one where I no longer have to think about it. It's in the morning, right? When you get out of bed, you get out and you go straight to brush your teeth. Whatever your morning routine looks like, but you have to brush your teeth. You don't have to think about it. You put the paste, you start brushing. It's very unconscious. When you get out of bed, you put your left feet or your right foot, however you get out from bed, but you do it very unconsciously, and you're very good at it. So another thing, my point to that was, but us as humans, we tend to ignore, we tend to block whatever valuable information is not good for us. So when we do that, we start listening only to what we want to listen. And when we don't want to listen to the things that are being said to us, we're getting ready to say what we want to say. So if you can recall, you personally, you have somebody in front of you talking to you, and then in your mind, next time you do this, think about this, right? You are in front of that person, and then that person is talking to you, and then you're thinking about what you're going to say next, and you're waiting for an opportunity for that person to be quiet or shut up. Whatever that conversation it looks like, it could be ugly, it could be a beautiful conversation, but you're thinking about what you're going to say next. You're ignoring everything that person is saying to you. So we tend to ignore whatever information is not valuable to us. But active listening, when you do active listening, you listen empathically, meaning that you put yourself in that situation and you listen with the intent to listen, not with the intent to respond. So now when you are listening with the intent to listen, your brain starts picking up other things. Your brain starts to process other information. It just becomes more aware of what that person individual. Now you becoming interesting in that individual rather than you or myself when I'm talking to you, rather than me sounding very interested as I'm speaking to that individual. So the active listening, it's listening to just very attentively to key words, key phrases to that individual. Very interesting. I challenge you to practice that, because it's one of the things that as our world continues to evolve and as we continue to move as a society faster than ever before, we get so caught up with social media. We get so caught up with the computer, with the phone, a call coming in, a text coming in, then a person right behind us talking to us, or we're reading and then you hear your phone going off, and then you stop what you're doing and then you listen to it. You pick it up. You take the phone call, whatever that looks like. We get interrupted nowadays more than ever before. Think about that for a minute. Just not too long ago, 100 years ago, if you look at the photos, some of the photos that exist and a little bit of the videos that exist, people were walking down the street. They were just walking. You didn't see them with their phones, right? Children playing outside in the streets with their family members, friends, whatever that looks like. I think of it, and I just think of it as a beautiful time, right? Although I love where I'm, the times that I'm living right now, this is the perfect time, perfect opportunity. I say that for myself, obviously, because it makes sense for me. If I was living at that time, I would have said the same thing. Hey, this is the perfect time in the world, right? Because I'm living the moment, basically, like Pitbull says, right? Live your moment. But my point to that is, we're getting interrupted more than ever before. So active listening becomes very important for us to process that information and then just listen empathically to the individual, listening to what they have to say. Okay, so, and with that, basic principles of relationships as well, it becomes very important when it comes to the mental laws, because as a similar concept attracts, okay? Think about it like this. Has it ever happened to you where you're happy? Everything is going great. You're pumped up. You're in an environment where like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go ahead and kick some butt. And then all of a sudden you get to whatever that looks, to the office. You get to work. You get home. Sometimes that happens, unfortunately. And then all of a sudden, your mood drops. Everything just dies. Okay? What happened? Why do you think that is? Most of the times is that you live in a space, you live in an environment where everything is going great. Your motivation level is very high and your energy is going great. Your level of thinking is at a different place, but then you get to a place where that person is unhappy. So what does that person do? Again, it's contagious. They bring you down with them. Therefore, just bringing everything that you have already built just with you. And it just sucks. It sucks, just being in that situation. I've been part of it, many, multiple times. So what I do is I just stay away from those people. And you could do the same thing too. Staying away from those individuals that is going to drag you down, right? And then just surrounding yourself with individuals that are going to be giving you value, and vice versa, that you can provide some value as well. There's a saying that goes, the top 5 people that you hang around with, if you add up all of their net worth and then you divide that by 5, that is your average net worth. So let's just say you hang around 5 individuals that are millionaires. Well, guess what? You're most likely going to be the 6th millionaire. But now flip that on the other side. Let's say that you hang around, 5 knuckleheads. Okay, 5 knuckleheads that are up to no good in life. Well, guess what's going to happen? You're most likely going to be that 6th person. So environment is very important because the brain will actually consume and live off of that. Again, this is the most powerful tool that we have in our world, okay, as part of us, because me, my body, my spirit that is inside of me, this for me is the most important tool. And it's more important, it's crucial more than ever before for you to take advantage of it and not to be distracted, because it's going to happen. Whether I'm saying this to you, I know I'm still going to do it. I'm going to get distracted, but my goal is to be conscious of it and spot it and then be able to adjust and pivot until therefore I can do that unconsciously. So my goal is to be conscious, to spot me. I'm going to be very unskilled as I'm doing that. But the more that I do it, okay, the more that I become aware, the more good that I get at not doing so, until eventually I'm very unconscious, but very good at pivoting when it comes to distraction, when it comes to hanging around the right crowd, not hanging around the wrong crowd, or doing my work, talking to that individual, doing my follow-ups, finishing what I said I was going to do. It comes very, very crucial. It's super, super important that, you take a minute to process that information. Read books. I recommend this book, like I said, The Secret. Very, very, very good book, for you to read. Bob Proctor, he actually has a lot of videos, a lot of his content as well. He's very good when it comes to the law of attraction, because the law of attraction says, hey, whatever you throw out to the universe is just like this pencil. Okay, the law of gravity. If I throw it up, guess what? It's gonna have to come down. Same thing with the law of attraction. If I say, hey, this is who I need to be. This is the people that I need to hang around with. This is the people that I want to be around with. Well, guess what? You're going to start spotting those people. You're going to start acting, behaving, and dressing, and talking, and walking just like those individuals. You're eventually going to start to attract them. And so one of the things that are very important that I started doing, that it was very uncomfortable, again, is telling my family my goals. Telling them my goals of what I really want to do out of life. Because it's very uncomfortable talking to them about that. And even up until now, it still feels a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. It's like, oh shoot, are they gonna believe what I'm saying? Or do they not believe me? Do they believe me? But trust me, I've been through that, and so I do it anyways. I do it. I told my wife, you know what my goals are going to be for the next 3 to 5 years. Guess what I'm doing? I'm bringing it to existence. I'm bringing it to existence. I live in the moment as if I already achieved it. That's another good habit that I have in the mornings as well. I write down my goals as if I already accomplished them. You know, I do my Tony Robbins exercise, the priming my body, priming my brain, and then just, you know, bringing down, you know, being thankful for the things that I have in life, and some of the goals that I'm going to achieve, and then just living them as if I already have done them. Trust me, at the beginning it was like, oh man, yeah, here we go once again. It's like rah rah rah. But the more that you do it, the more that you get, the more that you start practicing, you're gonna start, you know, one of those sessions like, hey, it just happened today, where I'm like, got it. You know, my brain was over there. I was able to bring it back, but bring it back as if I was already accomplished them. As if I had already done my goals. I had already accomplished them, if that makes sense. So very important, reading those books, Bob Proctor, Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi. You know, those guys are individuals that are doing it big in life. And so I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna leave you with this because I really reason on this. This is a relationship, you know, it resonates with me. It resonates with me because I'm a parent, but it says here, it says most parents, right? When your kids are little, let's say I have a 4-year-old. He literally just came in right now in the middle of the shooting of the video, but you obviously did not see that, but he came in the middle of the video and he's 4 years old. He doesn't really know what's going on, okay? But what do we do when we are parents at this specific stage? Let's just say, take for example, my example. What do we do? Hey, go over there, go over there, go over there, right? We do that for the first 5 years, just neglecting, not necessarily neglecting the word, but just like, hey, go over there, go over there, go over there, okay? So guess what happens? You know, for the first, we spend the first 5 years of our kids, right? You know, just kind of like pushing them out to the side. But then the next 40 years, okay, we regret them after we go through that. Because guess what? At that time, I saw a meme, okay, where the dad is talking and it's doing his work, and then the kid is over here. He's telling like, dad, and it's like, go over there. And the next thing you know, 20 years pass by, then the kid is already grown, probably 20s, doing his thing, playing video games or, you know, talking to his friends. And then the father is like, son. It's like, go over there, dad. You know, so very important that you, especially if you're a parent, or even if you don't have children, for you to start thinking about that, you know, to be more aware. Again, that is the purpose of why I'm making these videos, in order for me to give you the value, some of the failures, some of the mistakes that I have done in life, so that I can therefore share them with you in the hopes that, you know, you can learn from those mistakes and then not do them for yourself or for your future family or for your family if you already have one right now. But again, you know, we spend the first 5 years of our children's life like, hey, go over there, go over there, go over there. And then we spend the next 40 years just regretting those first 5 years of their lives, you know, wishing that we couldn't have done that. So anyways, I leave you with that because it is very important that we can grasp them. But once again, the mental laws, super important. The law of attraction, okay, says whatever you throw out to the universe, you will receive. Very important that you understand that. You know, who you associate yourself with, okay? Who I surround myself with. Do I surround myself with individuals that are doing better than me? Right? They're gonna make me feel, because they're gonna make me feel uncomfortable. They're gonna make me feel like, oh man. And then guess what? I have to push. I can't just sit here and be like, well, no, they're better than me. Actually, that's called retreating. That's actually going back to your safe place, to your safe spot. For me, it's like, yeah, I want to be in that environment. It stretches you. Think of it like a rubber band, okay? When you stretch the rubber band, that inside of it it's the comfortable area. The more you stretch it, or even your muscles, when you stretch it feels uncomfortable. You're stretching yourself. You're growing. It's okay. It's gonna happen. We're all humans, so we got to go through that. For me, it's like I welcome that, even though I feel like I feel scared at times, you know, or nervous. It's like, it's okay, because guess what? Next time I'm in that environment, I feel much better. And guess what? I'm gonna get put into a new environment where I'm gonna be like, wow, you know, this is good. This is uncomfortable. But why? Because I'm doing that unconsciously now. That's what I want out of life. That's what I'm attracting. I don't want to be hanging around with somebody that doesn't know what they want to do with their lives. You know, with a parent who is neglecting his wife, who is neglecting his kids, who is not paying attention to them. You know, that's not the kind of individuals that I want to hang out. I want to hang out with somebody that's doing better than me, way ahead of me in life. That's the kind of individual that I'm looking for. And so whatever you throw out to the universe, that's what you will receive. So think about that next time you come across a scenario like that. Law of attraction, you know, hanging around the right crowd, the words that we use, the words that we say, you know, I can't, I don't know how to do that. You know, those are very important words that even though they're words, your brain again starts picking up on that. So it's very important that you start to shift those words. Another great book that will help you with that will be The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a book that was written by Stephen Covey, but in that book, you're gonna find different ways that you can speak differently when you are faced with the scenario in life, and you tend to go back to I don't know how, I can't. You get stuck. Okay, so this book will actually give you the tools that you need to know in order for you to be conscious, and then start using a different language, the words that you use. And then ultimately, it's just believing. It just really comes down to believing that you can achieve those goals, that you will do better. Again, it's 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. It's the 80-20. You're gonna hear that, and pretty much it's the 80-20 rule. And for anything that you do in life, in business, personal life, family, whatever that is the 80-20. So with that being said, I hope that you got some value out of it. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know some of the things that you struggle with out of life, because I'm curious to know. Because in that, I may learn with you, or I may be able to give you a little bit of value, you know, with this video. But let me know. Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and if you think that you found some value, you know, go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and share it if you got the value. All of our social media is going to be down below. Feel free to follow us. And again, we will see you on the next video, as we are getting this channel started and just getting ready, and we're so pumped up to get you more valuable content. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.